Hello there, Vanagon Addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. Wanted to do a stream with you today to say hello, and we are back from our trip. Thank you guys for supporting us so much with your purchases. We got a chance. My wife and I had our 25th wedding anniversary. Actually, it was yesterday, so it was the 18th, but we got to go to Eleuthera in the Bahamas, back from around the 2nd of March to I think the 11th is how long we were there. So we were there about 10 days, and we took a bunch of video of it. I haven't finished editing it and getting it all online yet, but we did get to get some of that out there so you guys can kind of see what Eleuthera was like, what the islands and stuff like that are like, and it was very nice. And so we just wanted to say that we're back. We've been back now since the 12th, since last week. Back hard at work. And I thought I would do a stream today. I hope you guys can come on and join us. I see Steve DeRuiter's on here, so good to see him. And I see John is in here. Okay, good to see John. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of people in here today. Because of what's happening. Okay, what is happening? So, y'all know about the coronavirus thing and what's happening that way. We're all being affected by it to some degree. And I've been having people ask me about Vanagon. What is happening with Vanagon? And so I thought I would come on here and just let you guys know what's going on. So, as you can see, it's just me here. So, right now, that's about all my staff that I have, so I don't really have to worry about a bunch of people who are here and whatever. Okay, so it's just me at the moment, and that's why I like it, if I can keep it to that point. Good to see Aurelio. Hopefully I said that right. And so far in my county in New Jersey, thankfully, praise God, as of today, there has been no infections or anything, that we know of. So that is good for us. Of course, our prayers are going out for everybody else that's affected by it, and it's affecting the whole country, because so many places are closing. We actually closed our church for a couple weeks just to be on the safe side. We have a lot of older members, so we were trying to be safe that way. But there's a lot of questions. And so I'm going to try to give you all the answers that I have on this side, which is that as far as the parts supply chain goes and what's happening with the parts, there is no disruption as of now. So I just ordered a bunch of parts from Europe. They're supposed to be here early next week, and they are progressing through the system. I've been watching the tracking. They're progressing through the system. Also, I've been mailing things and shipping things to Canada, and that has also been going through like nothing, no problems. And then, of course, shipping and mailing things here in the USA, no issues, no problems. So, we are here. We are not going anywhere. Hopefully, Lord willing. And we are ready to help you guys out, serve you. I didn't know if, because people have been watching so much negative news or negative things on television, or scary things or worrisome things or whatever, I actually kind of thought about maybe we could do a live stream every day. Like, not on the weekend. Okay, not Saturday and Sunday, but during the week, like Monday through Friday, we could do a live stream every day at a certain time, like maybe around this time, like around 3 o'clock my time, which is noon in California. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. We could do a live stream every day. People could plan on being here, and they could ask questions, problems and things with their vans, and we could help them out. And it might be a way to just not think about everything. I've been getting a lot of orders, and I'm very thankful for that. A lot of them are orders I think people have been, putting off doing work on their van, and now they have some time on their hands. So they can do some things. They're like, I got to sequester myself or whatever, or they feel like they have to for a couple weeks. What can I do with myself for a couple weeks? I mean, I'll tell you something that you can definitely do with yourself that is a fun hobby and also is productive, which is working on your van, right? Get some of those projects that you've been thinking about doing for a long time. Get them done. I've got a guy right now that I'm helping through emails and chats who is doing his cylinder heads and doing the gaskets and new pistons and all that stuff. I'm sure that was needed for a while. He's getting that done. Actually, I had 2 people this week that we sent heads to and parts to that way. Gas tanks, gas tank kits. Okay. I've been watching people on the website looking at stuff. They're looking at gas tanks, gas tank kits, because they're thinking, hey, you know what? When this thing is over, or even before this thing's over, right? I mean, I can take my van and go into the woods. I'm not bothering anybody, and be alone, have some woods times or whatever. And if I get my van fixed up and it's reliable, then I can definitely do that. So, something to think about. Good to see Rob on here. I sent out those pillowcases to the folks that were supposed to get them. Rob got his real fast. I think he got his the next day after I sent it out. I didn't get to send it before we went on our trip to Bahamas. I apologize for that, but I did get all them out. Steve, if you haven't got yours yet, you should be getting it soon. So, that's kind of what I wanted to reassure people about today, is that this situation that's going on is not affecting Vanagon right now. Okay? I mean, and I think it would have to get really, really bad to affect it otherwise. In other words, they would have to shut down, UPS shut down the Postal Service. I don't really see why they would do that, to be honest, because we need those things. So, okay. Oh, so you have to travel across the border to pick up your parts. Okay, yeah, that could be a problem. I see a guy named Datsun. I've never seen him before. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve. I did send you a pillowcase, so I guess when the border opens back up, it'll be waiting for you. But I would recommend, if you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, right now, get it sent directly to you. Do not get it sent. Like I had a guy the other day that we sent a thing to Washington State, and he wound up, he's not going to be able to go get it because it's non-essential travel is blocked right now. But if you have it shipped directly to you from the U.S., it's fine. It'll go right there. You have to pay the duties on it, but it's better than not getting it. So, alright, so Rob is asking a question. His 91 Karat has a sagging AC tunnel. Could not find anything about how to disassemble it. Start at the front area of the windshield. Yes, do that. Okay. Start at the front area of the windshield. Support the tunnel with a piece of wood and some boxes or something stacked up. Like sometimes I'll stack up a bunch of cardboard boxes and support the tunnel, because once you take that front section down, it's going to try to fall like dominoes. That front section is supporting the front end of the tube, and on the back end of the tube there's nothing really holding it together. It'll just fall, and then that's holding the next one, and that'll fall and fall, fall, fall. So, support it with some, you can use 2x4s, or you can just use stacked up cardboard boxes that are decently, beefy or whatever. Okay. Alright, no problem. So we got Datsun. He's starting a Datsun How To Mechanics channel. All I gotta say is good luck to you that way. I actually have some Datsun parts here if you need anything. I bought out a foreign car place about 10 years ago, and the parts were from the 90s. So I have some Datsun stuff, not much left. I actually worked on a 74 240Z. for a friend of mine with the those carbs, the dual carbs. So yeah, believe me, I've been down the road with the Datsuns a little bit, but sadly he sold that car. That was a nice car. Do I have any 280Z parts? I'll have to check. I haven't looked through my stash in a while. If I have Datsun stuff, it probably isn't the sports car stuff. It's probably like the cars, which who drives them, right? Yeah, yep. The Datsun cars. I don't know if you guys remember any of them. They were these weird looking cars from back in the day. Yeah, yep. Yep, yeah, Rob, just do like I did in that video where you're using the JB Weld and the sheet metal and you should be in good shape, because that worked great in that van. And it was holding up. I drove it for months after that, and that tube didn't move a bit. So it was doing great. I actually patched some of the tunnel together too, because it was kind of broken in spots. So what do you guys think about this idea of having a daily stream and coming on every day, like from Monday through Friday at about 3 p.m. Eastern, noon, on Pacific, until this, crisis thing is over. Because, like I said, a lot of people are home from school, home from college. Some people are home from work. They can't work. And they have time on their hands to do. Okay, so Steve is working from home. I mean, that's what I do every day, Steve, so don't feel bad. He bought a 280 for $650. Wow, that's cheap. It's kind of funny. The 240Z my friend bought, the whole reason he bought it was because there was one in the woods that when he was a kid, and it had been abandoned in the woods for years and years. And so he actually got it for free from the owner. And I mean, it was bad. Everything was bad. We pulled the motor out and the transmission, and the rest of it was just like, a piece of Swiss cheese. I mean, it was that bad. But because of that, he got, yeah, I didn't wear a hat today. Because of that car, he got interested in the 240Zs, and we actually bought a really nice one for $12,000 a while ago. Like, it's been over 10 years ago now. He bought one for $12,000, and we fixed it all up. It was actually like physically restored. The interior was nice. The body was all painted and restored, and it ran okay. But it has those SU carbs, and they were bad. So we sent them out to a place out in Colorado, I think, where he totally basically made them like new. They were amazing when we came back. It worked great. Alright, Rob, did I sell my car? Yes, I did. So here's what happened. I finished fixing up my 91 Karat. I was driving it around. I loved that car. It was nice, okay? And I had a second 90 Karat that had the Ball State engine conversion. So that was my next project, okay? That one was rusty. The body was rusty, but the drivetrain was good, and a lot of the stuff had been done on it already, okay, by another mechanic, and then he sold it to me because he had to move. Okay, so anyway, excuse me, sorry about that. So a long-time customer called me from Philly. He said, listen, my van just died. My van is dead, and I need a new one, and I know the one, I watched all your videos about it, and I want that one. And I've known this guy for probably 18 years, okay? I've met him a few times in person, and I've known him for a long time. He used to be on the Vanagon list. Oh, word. He used to run a van rental place back out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, back before everybody else did. And so this guy knows Vanagons. I knew him. He told me I want it. I'm like, okay, you got it. He came up with the money and drove it back. Okay, so that's what happened to that one. So then I'm like, all right, well, I got this Bostic one. I want to do a bunch of videos on doing body restorations on that. I had it up for sale, but I didn't expect anybody, like no one had really shown any interest in it. And about a week after I sold the 91 Karat with the water boxer, somebody contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm interested in the Bostig one," and so we shipped it out to Arizona. Okay, we shipped that to Arizona. So, yeah, good idea, man. A lot of people, like I said, people are doing work on their vans right now. But yeah, so I think I actually saw some of your pictures on Facebook where you're doing your front steps to get into the cab. There, I said words. Yeah, so I sold 2 within like a month. It was very nuts. Okay, so now I'm actually kind of looking for another one. I have a 91 Karat that's behind the fence that is a major project. Okay, all right. Yeah, I saw the pictures of the steps of that. Yep, that looked good. And you're doing control arm seats. Ooh, that doesn't sound too good. So I was happy that I sold both the vans, but then it kind of put me in a conundrum of not having a van to do videos on. I actually even had a guy that what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought because something popped up over here on this side. But anyway, so I have a van behind the fence. I'm going to try to maybe get that out, clean it up, and get ready to do a bunch of body work on that. It used to be my own personal van for many, many years, and it's even worse than the Bostig one I just sold. It's like super rusted. I also have a white Westie, like an 85, sitting behind the fence that I don't even know if it's worth doing. It needs a new rebuilt engine, a rebuilt transmission. It needs, like, mice have been in it, and it needs a lot of stuff that way. So there's all kinds of stuff. Okay, it's pretty crazy. He did a video about how to do an oil change on an 82 2-liter. That's a good video to do. You know what I've been doing with oil changes? I use an oil extractor now. And then you don't have to mess with the drain plug anymore. It's way nicer. It might be something to think about getting, because that drain plug is a weak spot on that in the car. So, all right. So, does anybody have any questions today? Okay. And like I said, I'm still waiting to hear back on if you guys want to do a daily live stream, or you don't think there's not enough stuff to talk about. Let me see if I can pull up this one van. Yeah, you can use an oil extractor to pull the oil out through the fill tube. That's what I would do. I saw this picture of the South African Vanagon in New York City the other day. See if I can find it on here. Yeah, I think it's this one. I'll take you guys over to it so you can see a picture of it. Oh, will you shut up? No one cares about that. Alright, let me go over to this, and then I just have to do this thing, and then this one, go to this, and then do this. So I saw this van the other day online, and it's a South African Vanagon. It's a 1991. It's in New York City, and it's a synchro. So you can see that's got four-wheel drive on it. Plus, it actually is a factory synchro. This is how you can tell back here this gas filler, besides the stickers, and besides how jacked up it is. But it's South Africa. They had these weird scoop things for the back vents, and then the other thing you're saying, well, of course, this crazy looking pop top. It looks like a Westie top in the front, but then it's some kind of crazy Westie thing in the back I've never seen before. Maybe a European, or it could be South African only. It looks like he needs new weather stripping all the way around it too. But look at these windows, man. Look at this. I mean, number one, it looks like it's a right-hand drive too. I just now noticed that. So there's no sliding door on this side. But you got these huge windows here and here. And it just looks cool. And then you've got this, this is South African push guard on the front. I haven't had them to sell in many, many years. I remember them things. They were cool. They were beefy, man. Whew. That'll keep that front bumper from getting messed up, I'll tell you that much. You can see it's got these weird pre-made like scoop things on the back for your intake for your engine. And so what they were saying was this is a 91, but it still has the water boxer in it. So like you guys know about South Africa, at some point, I'm not sure what year, maybe it was after 91 or 92, they started putting in the inline 4s and they started putting in the 5 cylinders. And it talks about it here a little bit in this blurb about this van. But yeah, they had a 2.5 and a 2.3, 2.5 and 2.6 5 cylinders they put in them. And then they had those usually had 5-speed transmissions, and then you would have a 1.8 turbo that would have, or not 1.8, just a 1.8 inline 4, like same motor as a Jetta, that they would also put into them. And that was just pretty cool. I wonder about this tire thing too, if that's a factory thing. It seems like I remember seeing it in the microfiche, but I've never seen one in real life. It's got an attachment point right here, and it's hooked onto the back bumper, so it must be something under that's beefing it up, and then it's going down and hooking to like the hitch point down here. So it's pretty cool. I thought I'd share that with you guys because it just looks cool to me. I guess I'm a van nerd or something, most likely. Let me switch back. You probably want to just keep looking at that van, but alright, let me get out of this. Yep, yeah, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, I thought that was neat. Yep. Peter Benici, still out there, still alive. Alright, good, man. It's good to hear from you. Yeah, I mean, I really thought that South African van was pretty cool. We used to, back in the day, we used to sell a lot of South African parts. And it was kind of funny because one of the first things I got interested in when I was getting into the Vanagon world was South African parts. So I contacted a dealer over there, and I said, hey, I want to start importing some of these things like the big brakes, the wheels, you know, or the push bars and all that kind of stuff. And the grill kits. The grill kits was hot back then. It was all when that stuff was all kind of like brand news. So this guy's super nice. He's like, oh yeah, we will definitely be able to help you out. Let me send you some microfiche, and you can, you know, look up all the part numbers for the stuff that you need, and then get a list together, and we'll get ready to figure out how to ship it over there. I'm like, sweet. So he sent me microfiche, dealer microfiche from South Africa. It was like maybe a couple years old, so it was like spare stuff they had. He sent me a map of the city where they were and put a little place on there where his house was. And it was just a really cool experience. So I was in aviation mechanics school at the time. We actually had microfiche readers at school. I used them to print out a lot of that. We printed out the microfiche and everything, and found all the part numbers for the South African grill, the lights, the wheels, everything I wanted. Put it in a list to ask for prices. So got prices. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do an order, $5,000 or something like that worth of stuff. Oh, so do you have an agent here in South Africa? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, I can't sell to you. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I can't sell to you. I'm like, after all that, this was like over the course of like 2 months or 3 months of, you know, getting the stuff from him and looking things up and making the list and doing all this stuff. I mean, I had spent a lot of time and effort researching things, trying to figure out all the parts I was going to need for the big brake kits and all that stuff. And he's like, oh, we can't sell to you. Now, if you had a person over here, we could sell to you, but because you don't have one, I'm sorry. And I was like, wow, okay. And they even had a bigger gas tank, too, over there. They had I can't remember now, 17 gallon? I don't know. It was bigger. It required you to have to cut the back support for the gas tank. and then you had this little bracket thing that came down. Instead, you bolted to the frame, and the gas tank would be back like maybe like another foot longer than what it was originally. I mean, they had all kinds of cool things they were doing, and yet, so now fast forward to about 2 or 3 years ago when all that stuff stopped over there. They stopped selling the Vanagon. They stopped making the Vanagon in South Africa. Stopped selling it. I got a call or an email from a dealership in South Africa asking me for parts. So, you know, it all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. And they wanted gas tank parts because they said they could not get anything. They could get no gas tank parts. That the vans had been discontinued, and within a year of the vans being no longer made in South Africa, all the parts dried up for them. So I'm surprised at South African grills. You know, Dan is saying about the South African grills are dried up. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest, that they have lasted this long. You know, that they have been made all this time. And you know, the crazy part is, people call me about them, and I say, so do you have a square headlights or round headlights? They're like, oh, I have square headlights, but I really want more light. I'm like, well, do you know about our H4 headlight kits? They're like, oh, I never heard of that. And so as soon as I tell them about that, guess what? They buy that. Because they're like, you know what? I really didn't want to change anyway. I like the square. To me, I like it because it looks like the 80s. Yeah, square headlights, looks like the 80s. The round headlights, they looked cool because they were different. But I always like the square ones better myself. And the other thing that annoyed me with the South African grill kit is that the grill itself is very cheesy. Like, when you go to get one and you go to put it on, you have to be extremely careful to not break it. Because it is very, very flimsy and cheesily made. Alright. Alright, so I see Patrick's on here. Yeah, it's good to have everybody on here. If you guys come on, you know, just say hi. I mean, alright, I'll let me say something, but I'm going to regret it as soon as I say it. Okay, are you ready? I have a South African grill sitting here on the shelf. Shut up! Don't say that! Don't tell anybody. I have one sitting on the shelf. Okay? But I'm keeping it because we may make more. Okay? So I'm keeping it as a good sample so that we can make some more. So there's that. Okay? But don't call. Now everybody's going to come in. Can I buy it? I want to buy it because I need one. I said, no. No, you can't buy it. I should have told you I didn't have one, but I do have one. Because I try to plan ahead for this stuff, okay? When stuff goes out, I knew it was going out. I bought some. I bought one to make a new one. How could it? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do it out of aluminum. I mean, it would probably be better than what was on there, to be honest. What was on there was extremely cheesy. Something I bought a little while ago, and I don't know if anybody wanted to take a chance on them. I bought these, like, you can't get the Wolfsburg emblems anymore that you could get for the Vanagons. These are actually for a newer, like a Jetta or Golf, but they're very similar. It says Wolfsburg Edition on it. It has the castle with the wolf, okay? And it's similar in size. If anything, it might be just a hair bigger in diameter. This is almost exactly 2 inches in diameter. And I would say the original ones are probably 1 3/4 inches. Hey Caesar, how you doing? So if anybody's interested in these, they can touch base with me. You know, if you have a Wolfsburg Edition, a lot of times your badges are like all faded out and look sick and are falling apart. These are nice. They're like, I don't know, they feel like metal. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're plastic and they just look like metal. But they're raised. You know, all the words, I mean, you can read it with your finger because it's all raised. And the little castle thing in the middle's raised. So they look nice. I think they would look good on a van in place of the original ones that you can't get anymore. So, there is that. Alright, so, I think we had one vote for having... I don't think anyone has voted yet to try to have the live stream every day. Maybe not. Maybe everybody's trying to tell me something. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, it's hard for me sometimes. Like today, the whole day I was running around trying to get orders done. I just now got done. Some days are like that. Some days it's slow, but some days it's very busy. So, like right now I have my phone on mute because if I didn't, I'd be getting 600 calls or whatever. Yep. Alright. Alright, so Rob says weekly live stream only, once a week. Okay. Dotsoon says every day. Steve says every day. Minsk says weekly. I mean, I know it's hard, people, but like I said, the only reason I was thinking about doing it daily right now is because so many people are either at home, working from home. Like I said, college kids maybe who are out of school right now. And, you know, it's like I said, working on Vanagons is, alright, so weekly. Everybody's saying weekly. Alright, so what day of the week? That's another big question. I've tried it on Fridays. My problem with Fridays is usually by the end of the week, I'm pretty much exhausted. And, you know, yes, I do have square headlight plastic mounting brackets. Yes, I have I call it adjusters. So Steve says Wednesday possible. Okay, that might be a good idea. I've never figured out what day the best day is to do it. You know, most of the time I try to do it on Friday, but to me that's my worst. That's one of the busiest days. Monday is super busy for me. Friday is super busy. Wednesday is usually kind of slow. Wednesday and Thursday is usually the two slowest days of the week. So Wednesday would probably be good for that reason. Thursday would actually be the best for me because that is the most deadest day ever. Like today. And it's not a dead day that way, but it's, I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't get a lot of phone calls. Dustin says Tuesday at 4 p.m. Okay. Mountain Standard Time, which is probably 6 o'clock for me, I think. Either one if it suits you. Okay. Well, I mean, if I had my choice, it would be Thursday, and then maybe at 3 o'clock Eastern. What do you think? That would be like noontime, or is people out west eating lunch? I hate to like mess up people's lunch because that's weird because my lunch, you know, whenever I have my lunch, usually it's around 1 o'clock. And that is exactly when everyone tries to call. It's like, wow. So Thursday at 3 works. Okay, Rob says. Yeah. Everybody tries to call me. And I don't know what time it is. Maybe it's like right first thing in the morning out west or something. But 1 o'clock Eastern. I mean, I can almost guarantee you somebody's going to be calling me on the phone, and at least one other person is going to be chatting with me through the chat thing. It's crazy. Alright, so we've got Nandor Sign Frames. He says 6 a.m. AEST. What the heck is AEST? Watching from the UK, so any day, but not too late. Okay. So what time is it in the UK right now? Alright, hold on, let me try. Okay, Google. What time is it in the UK?
The time in United Kingdom is 7:49 p.m.
Alright, 7:49. Okay. Alright. Well, that's not too bad. That's not too late. I mean, poor Peter Bonici's here. He's in Australia. Right? Okay, Google. What time is it in Australia?
The time in Canberra, Australian Capital Territory, Australia is 6:49 a.m. on Friday.
I see. Alright, so that's why he's asking for that. Yeah, so I mean, he's actually he's in tomorrow already. 6:49 a.m. So Nandor says 6 a.m. AST. So that's Australian Easter. Okay. Alright, so that's Peter Bonici. That's Nandor. Yeah, I mean, Peter, do you get up that early? Oh. So, We won't mess him up too bad. He's from the future. That's right. He already knows about tomorrow. Will there be more virus cases tomorrow? Well, actually, we don't want to know. Don't tell us. We don't want to know. Dot soon says it's 1:50 for me. Okay, you're out in Colorado, I think, or something. 4 a.m. Okay. From Scotland. Been welding my 20 for 3 years, and now I'm finished. Sweet. Definitely send us some pictures, Caroline. I've been getting some nice pictures from customers lately. I try to put them on the website like right when you come on. Let me go back to that. I'll show you guys real quick what I've been doing. And if you want to send me some pictures in, I might put this dog on South African Vanagon on there, but I don't know the person, so I wouldn't do that without their permission. Alright, hold on. Let me switch back to this, and I'll take you to my website here. And I mean, you know my website, but alright, let me cancel this stupid thing. Alright, forget that thing. Never mind. Ignore that. Alright, let me go to my site, and I'll show you what I've been doing. So, I mean, this is a customer that sent me a picture of them once I sent them some parts and got their van back on the road. They're actually right in front of Cabela's up in PA, if you can sell the background. This was a guy that came to visit one day. This is a guy named Jay, who's a character. Okay. And then, of course, this is some of you guys' pictures that you sent me. This is a guy named Kevin Wong, who is funny story. He was telling me he's taking a trip across the U.S. and he was in this one town out west, and these guys were doing a mural on the wall. I think it might be this mural that's behind his van right here. So they were doing a mural on the wall, and he stopped to look at it. He's like, "Oh man, that mural looks great." And so they said, "Oh, you like it?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." They're like, "We can do one on your van." He's like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll do one on your van, but we have to be able to do whatever we want. And you can't really tell us anything. We're just going to do whatever we want." So they're like, he's like, okay. So they did this. It turned out nice, though. He was kind of nervous. I would be nervous if they said they could do whatever they want. I mean, they could paint a giant, anything on the side of your car, and you'd be like, dang, that's terrible. But it turned out pretty nice. And they actually did a little picture of him, a little character of him on this side. And I think on the other side, his dog, Poo. Let's see here. So yeah, see his dog. They put his dog on the passenger side. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And anything I get like that. So if Caroline wants to send me some pics of her work, we will probably put them on there. Yep. And Vanagons are definitely big in Colorado. Oh, I hear you. If I was going to move out west, it might be out to Colorado. Actually, I'm trying to think which one I like the best out there. It's weird, but South Dakota was one of my favorite places when we were traveling. But I'm probably a weirdo for that, to be honest. Alright, well, it's good to meet Caroline. I don't know if she's ever been on here before. We've had a lot of people growing the channel. We have over 3,000 subscribers now, so that is amazing, and thank you guys so much for that. And we're going to try to keep doing more videos. Like I said, if I can get this blue van out from behind the fence, you can... My goodness, I ate some stuff today that's coming back to haunt me. I'll get it out. I'll take some pictures. You guys can kind of see what kind of condition it's in. The interior is pretty nice. The back seat, I had to scavenge for another van. But I'll have to deal with that. But the rest of the interior was pretty nice condition. The van has a lot of miles on it. It had like 300,000 miles on it. And the body just started, disintegrating. I drove it for probably about 6 or 7 years, like summer and winter. And here in New Jersey, that is not a good idea. Like all the salt on the road, it was really giving it to it. So finally took it off the road. Actually, what happened was I had rebuilt the engine, and then about, a couple years after I rebuilt the engine and put like 15 or 20,000 miles on it, I think one of the rings broke because it started doing oil smoke when you would start it up, and I had to go through inspection, and they wouldn't pass it because of that. So then I was like, now we don't even have inspection anymore for emissions. So, anything 25 years or older, it's like emissions free now. Alright, so here's the plan. So we're going to do one live stream a week. I'm going to try to do it next Thursday at 3 p.m. I will try to put out a thing to all of the, like how they do it that day, where you can tell people, hey, we're going to do a weekly live stream at this particular time. That way you're kind of reminding people of it. And then we can just go from there. Okay? And if you need to hear my soothing voice in the meantime, you can go watch some of our other videos. You can call me on the phone, but only during business hours, which is got one more hour left today. Everybody tries to get in touch with me at like midnight and stuff. But it's because of Vanagons are coming all over the world, so But yeah, people are on the chat. I have a chat on my website in the bottom right corner, and people try to chat with me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know what they think is going on, and it just goes to a messaging thing. But they're like, "Hey, hi there," and all this other stuff. So, show your next chat pic, camper. What? Looking like shell. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to take some pictures, like I said. Show you next chat pic, camper. Okay. Okay. Yep, so anyway, guys, I guess that's going to be it for today. So get some questions for next time. I did have a new product I wanted to show you guys real quick before we got off. So we've got quite a few of these like wind deflector things. Okay, so these are like to allow you to open your windows, crack your windows, and drive with your windows cracked, and then not worry about if it rains or the wind coming in. We've got quite a few of these, and they're very inexpensive. Okay, I'll try to put a link down below to them in case you're interested. I think for a set they're going for like around $30 or something. And the only problem I've been having with them is I have to get them from Europe. I think they're made in the UK, I think. And they get like little chips down here, on this edge down here, or on this other, this side. They get like a little chip out. But I don't even think you would notice it once you put it in the car and get it behind, it has to go up like behind the weather stripping and stuff. I don't think you would even be able to see that. I just hate to sell stuff that has, a little bit of damage. Maybe I have to do the ones that have damage, I'll do them for like a discount or something. So these are for the front windows. They are smoke tint plastic. They come with some metal clips, I guess, that help secure them in place. It says, this set contains 4 pieces of clips. Please install them according to instructions, 2 pieces per side, and then there's a video on the website, which is heko.co. So Heko, I guess, is the company that makes these. I haven't actually looked at the website yet. But let me put this, I'll put that down here in the chat. Yep, so these are for the front windows. Again, this was a product that I was going to try to install on one of my vans and test it for you guys and all that stuff. And then I just didn't actually get a chance to do that. So I have like probably 5 or 6 sets of them if anybody's interested. Let me try to pull them up on the site here. Give me 1 second, and I'll give you a link to it. Let's see here. Deflector. Is that what it is under? Yeah, here they are. They're $36 for a set. Okay. So I'll put it in I'll put the link right here in case you want to look at them. Yep, but they, they look nice. They're nice. I've, been buying them and buying them. Every time I get an order from Europe, I buy a few sets of these. The only problem is the company has been, like, basically shoving them, like, they put them at the bottom of the box. And then they put stack everything on top. And, yeah, wow. That's a great idea. No, not really. Okay, so I guess that's it, guys. We've been on for 45 minutes. If anybody has any questions, save them up for next week. We'll try to be back next week at 3. And until then, guys, be safe. I hope that you guys can stay healthy, stay safe. And we're praying for our country, for the world, for the situation that's going on. And hopefully by next week, maybe things will be doing a lot better. So that's it, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. And we are going to catch you guys on the next video. Alright, we'll talk to you guys later on. Have a great one. Let me go into this.